Hi, welcome again to my YouTube channel, Connecting the Dots. I'm Dr. Claude Anderson, your host. I'm going to pick up now on part two of devices that were used to constrain and to maintain the racial status quo in America. Now, I left where I left off after about, I don't know how many I went through, but let's pick up about at least 3 or 4 more of these points because there are so many I can't get through all of them in 2 or 3 parts. But let's pick up another one. Another common way they try to maintain the status quo in black folk is to direct black folk into doing and involved in symbolic, insignificant, wheel spinning kind of activities that leads to nothing. That can be everything from marches, just to march and express your displeasure, or protest marches where there's no tangible goal that's been spelled out, where you got millions of people marching, and you say, marching for what? There's no answer. And so black folk engage in all these symbolic issues, or for instance, they can even march because of something that occurred 20 years ago, and they marched because somebody was shot or killed or beaten. And you say, what's the goal? Nobody knows, but they're engaged in it. But the worst part about it that they try to direct you into is try to get black folks engaged in things that are non-definable, like in marches, like particularly the civil rights movement, like marching for equality. You ask, what is equality? What is equality? How do you determine when you got equality? What are you looking for in equality? And when white folks in the old days, in civil rights days, I can recall very distinctly when I was over education in the state of Florida, you ask white people, say, what do you people want? And black folks would say, we want equality. What else do you want? We want equal opportunity. What else do you want? We want to be somebody. And so what white folks was trying to say, okay, since we got the power and wealth, y'all proclaim that we are superior, we're going to grant you everything you ask for. Abracadabra, make all black folk equal. Abracadabra, give them equal opportunity. Abracadabra, make them equal to whites. Now get the hell out of here. You got what you need. Don't come back. They didn't give you anything because you see, you didn't ask for anything that was tangible and measurable. You didn't say, I want this. I want to know something that I can measure and I can take to the bank, that I can have in my hands and hold, and that I can have a value in, because they always trick us to get involved in equality and equal opportunity. And what they fail to tell you is that you live in a race-based society. You cannot, in theory and practice, get equality and equal opportunity in a race-based society. The whole point of racism, of being in a race is a contest. It's when people engaging in a competitive activity. Whether it's a horse race, a bicycle race, an automobile race, people are competing. And the whole point in racism is not to create equality. It's the primary point of racism is to create inequality. That's why you go to the horse race, the Kentucky Derby, you line all the horses up together and say, now, when the gun goes off, you horses start running and run around the tracks. When you get to the end, we want to identify the one who comes in first place, or comes in show or place, win, show or place. Now, nobody wants to expect all those horses to come in at the same time. That would be foolish. That defeats the purpose of having a race. It's for everybody to start out equal and come in equal. Can't happen. But unfortunately, our people look for equality in these and look and say, well, we want to catch up. And so in the race, black folks say, well, if we're looking for equality and equal opportunity and we're in a race, let's just run along and look behind us and say, everybody catch up. I'm in front. Y'all need to catch up with me so we can all come in together. It is foolish and it's silly. But every time I hear a black person talking about what they're looking for in terms of race matters, they're looking for equality, equal opportunity. You cannot get equal opportunity and equality in a race-based society. Go for yourself. Get out front, run as fast as you can, and try to get to the finish line as fast as you can, and do not look back and try to pull everybody else along with you. Every other group in America is competing with you. They're competing for the ownership and control of resources, wealth, and power. The greatest power in this nation is wealth power. And if you get out front, get as much wealth as you can, and try to pull as many of your people along, but you cannot all come in at the same time. They said, well, Dr. Anderson, that we believe in socialism. Why would you want to be practicing socialism in a capitalist society? That you want to be an island of socialism in a sea of capitalism. Everybody in the world is trying to be is capitalistic. Russia used to be practice socialism. So did China. They were communist countries, socialistic. They got away from it. Now some of the most competitive capitalist nations on earth are Russia, China, and even North Korea. Everybody's competing to get ownership and control of wealth and power. Nobody's looking for any equality, equal opportunities, but black folk. But yet, our people still are being taught and encouraged by civil rights organizations and political candidates that look for equality and equal opportunity. No, you tell them, I want to look for self-interest first. Get my people out front, make them come in first, and don't worry about who's going to be behind them in second place and third place. Go for the rope, go for the gold, and cross the rope and get the gold. And that's why I tell black folks, stay away from anything that's that's intangible, that you can't measure and count and take to the bank. Go for what you can take to the bank and count and enrich your people with more wealth. We have 1/2 of 1%. We should have enough wealth in our hands that will be equal to our population. We're about 13% of the world, of this country's population. Try to own and control as much value and wealth as you have in your population number. Not only in this country, same thing with African countries. African countries in the same boat. I guess blacks in Africa own about 1/2 of 1% of the wealth, just like we have 1 1/2% of wealth in America. But isn't it sad that collectively, if I tie all the blacks in the world together, between blacks in Africa, blacks in the Caribbean, and black in America, you get about 24% of the world population. And even with 24% of the world's population, to show you how bad it is, what the great disparity is, and the inequality is that with 24% of the population collectively, people of African descent around the world, you still own and control 1/2 of 1%. So quit trying to be equal to all other people. Try to be independent. Confine your interests and your goals to yourself and your own people. Get out ahead in front and run as fast as you can, and don't look back.